All right, well, let's begin my mock draft. The number one pick of the Tennessee Titans. I got Cam Ward. I think this is an obvious one. The Titans need a quarterback. Will Levis was too detrimental to the Titans last year. Pick six after pick six, and that cost them a lot of games. For one instance, they did the turnovers were in the Jets game. The turnovers were against the Chicago Bears earlier on in the season. Cam Ward last year, he was the best quarterback in a clean pocket. He was fifth in deep passing, second in intermediate passing, and he was the second overall rated passer in college football last year. He has a pretty good arm. Again, none of these quarterbacks have a tremendous arm like we're talking about last year with some of the, I really think every single one of these quarterbacks will be after Bo Nix if they were all in one singular draft. So Cam Ward has a good enough arm. He has great touch on his passes, which is obviously a very good thing to have. One thing that's a massive upgrade just from any rookie quarterback is having that supreme confidence. If you're nervous in the pocket, if you're nervous with your decision-making like Will Levis is, you're not exactly going to succeed. And Cam Ward having that supreme confidence, I think, is a massive plus for him. And he takes risks. That's the good thing. He also takes a lot of risks, but they're calculated risk as well. So he has good mobility. It's not great, but it's good enough in the NFL. Cam Ward is the number one overall pick to the Tennessee Titans. Let's go. Number two pick. The Cleveland Browns select Abdul Carter, edge rusher from Penn State. Carter's probably the number one overall talent in this draft. He's incredibly explosive off the line. There's a reason why him and Micah Parsons, the comp for Abdul Carter is Micah Parsons. Now, obviously, it's the same school, same number he wore, but it's also his play style. Last year, according to PFF, he had a 92.4 pass rush grade. He was fifth in sacks last year, third in quarterback hurries, fifth in run stops, and he was tied for 10th in quarterback hits. I think pairing him up with Myles Garrett would be insane because then you can't double Myles Garrett because you have Abdul Carter coming off the edge as well. So this will be a deadly duo for a team that right now needs to find some spark with Deshaun Watson. That quarterback situation is a disgrace, and now supposedly they're liking Kenny Pickett as their starting quarterback because the GM and the quarterback coach think the Steelers didn't give him a legitimate shot. Are you kidding me? But that's what they're going to do. I got Abdul Carter going number two to the Cleveland Browns. Let's go number three pick in this draft, the New York Giants. The Giants select, and I've been talking about this recently, not over, but I think this is the best pick and the most comfortable pick for the Giants, and that's Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Colorado. Shedeur Sanders in 2024, let's talk about his stats for a second. He was the third highest rated quarterback, second in adjusted completion percentage, second in turnover-worthy plays. He did not put the ball in harm's way. He had some great zip on his footballs within 25 yards. He was the sixth best quarterback on intermediate passing, and nearly half of his passing snaps and passing plays were out of structure, so no help from passing from the structure of play, so RPOs, any like that, screen passes, anything like that. We're talking about him making the plays that matter. Nearly, 48% of all of his plays were out of structure plays. I think right now we're talking about people are complaining about his deep ball and how they die beyond 40 yards. We saw on his pro day, he could still sling the football pretty well and pretty accurately. His big thing is being able to dissect plays at the line of scrimmage. And being with Colorado and now looking at the New York Giants, some of it is the exact same, and I talked about this before. Not a great offensive line in both circumstances, no running game, and one true, people had an issue when I said this, one true legitimate threat. Travis Hunter was their true legitimate threat, and Malik Neighbors for the Giants is also a true legitimate threat. And again, I'm not saying the rest of Colorado's receivers are bad, just like how the rest of the Giants receivers aren't bad in the sense of the word. We have Darius Slayton, a consistent 700-yard receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is a shifty little guy. But it doesn't matter. They're not true threats like Malik Neighbors is. And Giants, they need something to go their way. And I think picking a quarterback, solidifying that position, even though you have Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston and also Tommy DeVito, I don't think it matters. You got to build for the future. Russell Wilson's on a one-year deal, and they can get off him tomorrow if they really wanted to. I got Shedeur Sanders, number 3 to the New York Giants. Let's go Patriots, number 4. Go Travis Hunter, probably the second best player in this draft. And this for the Patriots, because we're not doing any trades, I actually would have them at this point trading back in the draft. But since this is just a straight up 1-32 with no trades, they pick probably the second best player in the overall draft. This is really a can't go wrong pick because you could pick Travis Hunter. You can go offensive line. If Abdul Carter's available at this point, you could probably pick him as well. This would make a lot of sense for New England because let's just be honest here. They've had the worst supporting cast in the NFL for the past 5 seasons. It's very bad. Last year with Tom Brady in 2019, he was screaming at guys to get open. That's an issue. But him as a wide receiver, let's talk about that for an instance, for a second here, because I do think that he can play both sides of the game in the NFL. For his wide receiver, he has great hands. He has a tremendous ability to track passes and also maintain possession even while absorbing contact. That's big. In 2024, he had 96 receptions at 13.1 yards per reception and 15 receiving touchdowns. He was 7th in deep yards. Wouldn't the Patriots love to have a deep ball receiver? They haven't had that in years. Probably Randy Moss was the last true deep threat, or Wes Welker as well, but he was a slot guy. He was 2nd in deep catches in college football last year. And I think if they didn't sign Diggs, he would instantly become the number 1 wide receiver for the New England Patriots. But because Diggs is there, he would be a very nice number 2 piece. As a cornerback, we got to think about it. As a cornerback, he is a phenomenal zone coverage cornerback. I think right now with New England, we have to take a look at their cornerback situation. They have Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, but Marcus Jones is still the starting nickelback. I would honestly try to make Travis Hunter that spot, because I think Marcus Jones, he's short. He's 5'8". He got torched by T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. That's an issue. He get torched by everybody who's about 6 foot or taller. That's an issue. Last year, though, as a cornerback, Travis Hunter allowed a 56.1% completion percentage when targeted. He only allowed 1 touchdown to 4 interceptions. That's pretty good, in my opinion. He was 8th in forced incompletion percentage. I think that pairing, though, overall, Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, Travis Hunter, deadly combination on defense. And then when we're talking about offense, Stephon Diggs, Demario Douglas, and also Travis Hunter. The Patriots win. The over-under winning is 8.5, which is ridiculous coming from a 4-13 season. It's 8.5. I got Travis Hunter to the New England Patriots. Let's go number 5 pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me Mason Graham, defensive lineman, Michigan. He has an excellent first step explosiveness. He has a tremendous flexibility for an interior defender. His push-pull move is a very, very dominant move for him. He lacks some serious length, but for me, it's all about production. Just like if I had Will Campbell going to the Patriots, I know his arms are short, but he played at such a high level that length wouldn't really matter. And it's the same thing for Mason Graham, because right now he's 3rd in run stops. But the Jaguars last year, their defense was abysmal, especially for pass rush. They were 30th in quarterback pressure rate, 28th in sacks, 30th in sack percentage. They had the 2nd slowest time to pressure rate in the NFL, and they're also 25th in run stuff percentage. So Mason Graham going to the Jaguars, and you could also say Will Johnson from Michigan. You could say maybe he goes at this point, but for me, you got to fix that interior of your defense. Mason Graham is an instant upgrade for you. Help you out on the pass rush. Mason Graham to the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 5. Number 6, we're talking Las Vegas Raiders. Give me Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State. I think extending Geno Smith on a 2-year deal, that probably sums it up, that they're probably not going to be drafting a quarterback at this spot. And Ashton Jeanty is a beautiful piece for them, because I doubt Raheem Mostert or Sincere McCormick are really take off this year. I don't think so. When it comes to Ashton Jeanty, obviously, he's a monster, an absolute, utter monster. He has a very compact, dense frame, which helps him with the center of gravity and also helps him absorb contact and maintain stability, because last year, what did he do after contact? He was 1st in yards after contact, 1st in yards after contact per attempt, number 1 in missed tackles forced, number 1 in breakaway yards. He has like that Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry kind of explosiveness in the open field, and he kind of has sort of a Derrick Henry build with how just big he is. I think right now we take a look at the Raiders' rushing game last year, because it was terrible. Last in rushing yards a game, last in rushing yards per play, last in EPA per rush, last in rush success rate, 31st in explosive runs, and 28th in rushing touchdowns. I think this team has a serious shot at least being competitive in the AFC West. Now, if you take a look at it, they're still the last place team in the AFC West, but with Ashton Jeanty, with Jacoby Myers, with Geno Smith, a decent offensive line, and a defense that's still pretty good with Pete Carroll as your head coach, why can't this team teeter on 9-10 wins next year? I don't know, but I think that with Ashton Jeanty as running back, he can make a serious, serious impact. Let's go to number 7, the New York Jets. Give me Armand Membu, offensive tackle of Missouri. The Jets right now, their starting right tackle is Chukwuma Okorafor. One game, I think he had a couple penalties very early in week 1 for the New England Patriots. He got benched and then released after one game. Didn't even complete it. Didn't even make it halfway through. In the first quarter, he had a couple mistakes. Gerard Mayo took him out and then shipped him out. So the fact that he's your starting right tackle for New York, that's a massive issue. You need to shore up that right tackle, especially for Justin Fields. So Membu has played at right tackle his entire career in college. He made an incredible jump from 2022 to 2023 to now 2024. He had a massive jump, and in 827 snaps, 0 sacks allowed, 0 quarterback hits allowed, and only 8 quarterback hurries. That's pretty good for Justin Fields, who has dealt with pressure his entire playing career. He was also tied for second in pass block efficiency out of all offensive tackles in college football. He has great length. He has great athleticism and explosiveness. Yeah, he's a tiny bit short, but again, it's about production. He had a massive jump this year. So I think the Jets, they need to shore up that right side, and I think Membu will absolutely bring you that security on the right side of your offensive line and help out Justin Fields. Let's go number 8, the Carolina Panthers. Give me Jalen Walker, edge rusher from Georgia. Now, the Panthers could do a number of things at this part because they were just a bad team last year. But really, I think their defense is probably the bigger hole other than another weapon. Because last year, they were the worst graded defense out of everybody in the NFL. They had the worst run defense grade. They had the worst pass rush grade. And I think Jalen Walker coming into that situation could seriously give them a nice boost. For once, in 2024, he was 5th in yards allowed as a linebacker edge rusher. Number 1 in pressures. 6th in pass rush win percentage. He is a natural pass rusher off the edge is what they absolutely need. Because again, dead last in pass rush grade. And honestly, it wasn't close. They were in the mid-30s, which is abysmal. He has great balance and play strength, explosive first step in any direction, right, left, forward, back, regardless of what it is. He is a phenomenal tackler, which, again, the Panthers struggle with. They were either dead last or bottom 3 in the NFL in tackling last year, and he has an insane amount of competitive toughness, which the Carolina Panthers need that dominant force. They need another Luke Kuechly, because they haven't had one since Luke Kuechly. They need that linebacker. They need that defender to be a leader, to have that competitive toughness. I'll give it to Jalen Walker, number 8. Number 9, the New Orleans Saints. This is the hardest one to pick for me, in my opinion, but I'm going Will Johnson, cornerback of Michigan. The Saints traded away Marshawn Lattimore last year to, I believe, the Washington Commanders, so they need to reboot at this position. They're also in cap hell for like the past 6 years, so they need to find some young guys in order to build around to save some money instead of spending in free agency. Their starting number 2 cornerback gave up a 111 passer rating last year when targeted at. He allowed 7 touchdowns and 852 passing yards. Or receiving yards, I guess I should say. That's an issue. You need to find a good cornerback. And I think Will Johnson, last 2 years, no touchdowns, 6 picks. I think that's a pretty good pickup in my opinion. Now, in 2024, his stats are not where they should be because he only played 6 games and missed most of last year with a serious case of turf toe and also a shoulder injury. So he missed a lot of games. But when he's out there, when he's playing, he was a big part of the Michigan national championship team. So I think that he would be a beautiful pickup for the New Orleans Saints. He has incredible change of direction ability. He could play both sides, left and right. So you could play him at any position right now at cornerback. And I think he would have a massive impact 100%. Great instincts. He could bait quarterbacks into making that testy throw and probably pick it off. And here's the interesting thing. He's not great. He's not suited for man defense necessarily. He's more suited towards zone because of his athletic ability and of his instincts. Well, new defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, while he changes his defense occasionally, he tends to veer more towards coverage and zone defenses, which should make Will Johnson excel at a decently high level. And here's the thing. Brandon Staley isn't a head coach, so he's not going to call a 4th and 2 play on your own 20-yard line. He can stick to defense and what got him the head coaching job. So if he just sticks to zone defense, he could capitalize on Will Johnson's real dominance, his part of his game, the thing that he excels at. I think Johnson could be a massive part of the Saints defense. But let's get into the final pick, the number 10 pick, the Chicago Bears. I had to call an audible before the show. I had one player in particular, but I actually changed it last minute. I think the Bears are going to go tight end Tyler Warren. Cole Kmet last year, he regressed massively. He was the 11th highest graded tight end in 2023, and he regressed all the way to the 42nd graded tight end last year. When it comes to Tyler Warren, though, he's a very big, strong player at 6'6", 257 pounds. He has tremendous hands. He caught 104 passes out of 135 targets. You already know he is a phenomenal contested catch tight end. He was 2nd in college football in contested catches. But he can play on all facets of the game. Screen passes, blocking, being that sturdy tight end. Now, he's not this mobile, athletic, change of direction tight end. He's like a true tight end. Blocking, he doesn't move a lot. So you won't see a lot of shiftiness. He's not Travis Kelce. He's more of a Rob Gronkowski in a way, just this big burly guy barreling through people. He had 1,230 yards, 8 touchdowns, long arms to help him with his catch radius and also his blocking ability, which we've seen the offensive line of the Chicago Bears. Now, they did improve this season, but having an extra key blocker who could also catch a bunch of passes and have that huge catch radius would be a massive plus for Caleb Williams. But yeah, speaking about Tyler Warren, though, 5th in deep yards, tied for 4th in deep catches, 1st in screen catches, 2nd in screen yards, and like I mentioned, 2nd in contested catches, which is big. He has a tremendous level of versatility, which should be a key cog in the new Ben Johnson offense that he could use in both the running game and the passing game when it comes to blocking and also catching as well. I think he'll be a valuable piece to Ben Johnson. But those are my top 10 picks of this year's draft. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Ashton Jeanty, Armand Membo, Jalen Walker, Will Johnson, and Tyler Warren to wrap it up. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching this clip of the Harvey Hour. If you want to watch the full show, you can by clicking the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to take the show with you on the go, it is available wherever you get your podcast. We go live here on YouTube every single Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a video and whenever we go live.